I called Caleb this morning, and as I mentioned, we did have the entire program pretty much laid out at our 3:45 a.m. production meeting when Caleb's breathing hard. I don't know why. Maybe he's thinking about another kid. I have no idea. But we started discussing a little bit later, right before the program, how there could be a player. And Caleb, do me a favor. Don't put him on the thumbnail. Don't call him out in the title of this repurposed video. But I think we all scratched our head a little bit when Cam Seldon did not go out there against Kentucky and Peyton Lewis did. I scratched my head a little bit. I thought to myself, it's as simple as this, that Tennessee believes Peyton Lewis is the better natural runner. He played running back in high school, whereas Seldon was more of an athlete, played more wide receiver. And I think there is something to be said for the Dylan Sampsons of the world, the Travis Stevens of the world, that may not be just massive size speed ratio guys like Jamal Lewis, like we thought Seldon was going to be, like Peyton Lewis might end up being. And I've stood next to him. He's about as big as J. Lou. So I just thought they figured out that this was a better choice at running back, not only for the Kentucky game, but moving forward if something happened to Bishop and or Sampson. Now I'm wondering, because you looked it up, Cam Seldon could theoretically redshirt this year, right? He's played in 4 games, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So he could have informed Tennessee's coaches before Saturday that, I don't think this is the best fit for me. I'm going to cruise somewhere else, and I would like to save my redshirt. Now, I don't know this. I'm not reporting this. This conversation could have been, hey, Cam, you're on the verge of your red shirt. Would you like us to try to save that? I don't know, and I'm not pretending to know. However, we are in this day and age in which a player can, and we saw this happen at UNLV, can decide to redshirt and just go ahead and announce he's going to transfer. Well, I don't know what's happening with those running away rebels in Las Vegas as they run away from competition and the fact that they didn't get their NIL money as much as they thought they should have. But I will tell you this right now. I would have zero patience for any of those players. I wouldn't want them around my team because I have seen what, and I hate to use this word because it's almost too strong given the severity of it, cancers in a program. I've seen those guys and how they can negatively affect. Everybody says Kelly Washington was a cancer. No, there were 3 more players worse than him on that team. Haven't named them, not going to, but it's a fact. You could destroy a team. You also, now that I know about Connor Stallions and there's guys exchanging information on Sundays after games, I wouldn't rule that out either. These guys play each other. So I'm not pointing the finger at Cam Seldon at all. But I'm asking you this question. A player that says he's going to transfer midseason should be welcome on the practice field. And I guess theoretically you could win him back. No field, but gets the benefits. In other words, he gets the juice bar. He gets to eat. He gets all that stuff. As a joke, I said be forced to go to class, which I don't think they are now. And then the last is just leave and kick rocks. That's 78%. Caleb, I would go so far as to, if a player told me that, hey, I'm done, I would make a public spectacle of it, in that I would send out a release and say he's no longer with the team. He has officially entered the kicking rock status. Tell me I'm wrong, because I sound like a hardcore jerk.
No, in that process, I agree with you. Even from like Dave, if I just signed, I'm under contract with Dave. If I was coming up, talk about a job, if you go to your boss, if I came to you and I said, hey, Dave, I think I'm going to go take this other podcast, you would be like, get the hell out of here.
Yes, I've had that happen to me.
You'd be like, I'm not going to deal, because
I said, should I finish the day? And they go, no, kick rocks.
One, for the biggest reason, and you know this, if I told you that, our chemistry would collapse on the show, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would like be so bad. How are we supposed to have chemistry if you know I'm talking to you about like looking at other places? Now, I don't blame players for thinking about transferring in the middle of the season, and if they want to keep it to themselves and start researching schools. Is that fair to say? Because look, if you're benched and you know you're not going to play and you're probably going to transfer out anyway because it's best for your future, is it really wrong to start looking and entertaining other schools and seeing your best option during the season if you're not playing at all?
You better not tell me about that.
No, you don't tell anybody about it. I agree. Just like you wouldn't tell any.
Okay, but in this situation, it has to be knowledge within the program, or Cam Seldon, based off the substitution patterns, would have played on Saturday, right? Not Peyton Lewis.
No, I think Cam Seldon was banged up in August. Maybe Cam Seldon.
Peyton Lewis told me in July he was 100% healthy and 100% cleared. I don't know. Now, that's a whole different argument.
Lewis is better than Cam Seldon. We all thought he was going to be.
I agree. I think Tennessee's mishandled that in some shape, form, or fashion. Now, maybe they mishandled it because they wanted to keep Cam Seldon happy and have him around past this year. But they knew Peyton Lewis was the guy.
Well, okay, what about this? If you're Cam Seldon, you know you're going to be pushed out. You know you're not going to start or play. You've already played 4 games this year. You don't want to go. What would you do? You know you're transferring at the end of the year. Dave, you don't want to go in, right? Because you want to save your eligibility yourself.
Well, yeah.
What do you do if
that doesn't mean that I have to support that. Listen, Caleb.
So then transfer.
You and I both outkicked our coverage when it comes to the ladies of our life. And I just wonder how Mrs. Calhoun would respond if you went to her and you said, hey, I'm going to look around at some other potential wives, but I'm curious. Can we A, still sleep together? Can I B, still leave here? Or C, do I need to kick rocks? What's she going to say?
She would obviously say kick rocks, but you also have to add in another layer to this. This would be as if Mrs. Calhoun had 2 other men that she had as priorities over me first. Okay?
That's right. She's bringing in this other dude in clutch
Josh,
time.
You can't get it, Cam Seldon, for that when Josh Heupel's like, I'm taking Dylan Sampson and Peyton Lewis over you because they're better than you. But I still want you to risk your eligibility by getting on the field for me when I need you.
Well, wait. I don't think that's what happens. What I was told is either it was one of 2 situations. They went to him and they said, what do you want us to do about your potential eligibility? We can play Peyton Lewis. And he said, yeah, I'd just soon sit, which is not a good look. Or the other look is I've played out my red shirt. If I play anymore, I'll lose a year. I need to go somewhere else and suck as a running back.
I mean, I don't think he has to suck. I think he should just sit out. And
that guy's not a running back. That guy's a great athlete. I mean, they should transition him to tight end to wherever he goes.
You talking about Cam Seldon?
Yes.
Yeah. They should. Actually, maybe. I mean, it's almost a Jalen Hurts situation. Yeah, he's athletic enough to be a defensive end, in this.
Great comparison. I hadn't thought of it till you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, listen, let's do something for you here. And these coaches are going to know. So especially don't lie to me, which would be analogous to you saying, Mrs. Calhoun, everything is great. I love being here, but you're interviewing other potential women. So all these coaches talk. It gets around. It would be essentially like you trying to interview other women where Mrs. Calhoun works. You wouldn't want to do that.
What about this? What if Cam Seldon went to the coaches and said, look, I understand I'm not going to be pushed. I'm not going to start ahead of Dylan Sampson and Peyton Lewis. I understand that they're better. Is there, and I just asked him, if he just asked him straight up, is there any way I could be effective for this football team if I moved over to tight end or defensive end, or are you guys just too loaded there too?
I'm comfortable with that. But if it is anywhere along the notion of I can't play, I want to save my red shirt, either to stay at Tennessee or not, that is a big time loser mentality.
I mean, yeah, but what would you do? You don't want to play. You don't want to burn your eligibility. If you think you could be better somewhere else, look, I'm sorry. Then you're right. Maybe it is a kick rock thing. Maybe it's mutual. Transfer mid-season, but I think you should be allowed to stay and go to class throughout the end of the semester.
Forced to go to class. Forced to go to class.
Oh, yeah. Forced to go to class.
Now, okay. Listen, if he has told him that he wants to save his year of eligibility to be better at Tennessee, that is not a good sign. That is a really bad sign. I remember there was one player who, Sean Young. Do you remember Sean Young?
Oh,
He was an offensive lineman from Georgia.
Is he the one who returned the fumble for a touchdown against Tennessee in 2003?
No. He played for Tennessee, but he was from Georgia.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I remember him coming out before his senior year and said, "I've looked at the depth chart. I think it would be best if I redshirted." What the hell are you talking about? I mean, it's your senior year. And this is preseason camp. I mean, you should not be thinking like that. You should be thinking, I'm going to go out there and compete for the job. And you may think Peyton Lewis is better, but I'm better than him, and I'm going to keep him on the bench. Nobody is discussing whether or not he's going to bench Dylan Sampson.
I need you to go from Sean Young to my guy, because I'm about to shoot your argument down completely.
Okay. By the way, Sean Young is big into MMA, so if he sees Dave at the gym, he could beat the hell out of him if he's watching this. Go ahead.
In 1999, when Jamal Lewis was coming back from injury, did you know Travis Stevens went to the coaching staff and said, "I want to be redshirted this year because I know I'm going to be behind Jamal Lewis and Travis Henry, and I'd like a year of eligibility to myself." What did Travis Stevens do in that 1 year of eligibility? Set the all-time single-season rushing record in Tennessee football history. Was that a loser mentality by Travis Stevens?
Which year again?
99, Travis. So for those who don't remember, Jamal Lewis, Travis Stevens, and Travis Henry were all part of the same class in 1997.
Right.
Jamal Lewis becomes the starter. 98, Jamal Lewis goes down with an injury. Philip Fulmer uses Travis Henry and Travis Stevens together. But as the year goes on, he really starts to lean more on Travis Henry. And it becomes clear Travis Henry was going to be the better running back. So in 99, Jamal Lewis is coming back from injury and Travis Henry's still there. Travis Stevens went to the coaching staff and said, "I want to be redshirted this year." They obliged. They redshirted him. Jamal Lewis went pro. Travis Henry started in 2000. Travis Stevens got his year to himself in 2001, and he set the all-time single-season rushing record. One of the smartest decisions Travis Stevens ever made. And you're calling it a loser mentality.
I think you're picking the one situation in which it worked out for both parties. Would you not agree that 9 times out of 10, this is a red flag? I'll give you that one. If you want that one, I'll give you that. I mean, if a guy comes to you, Caleb, I mean, if I came to you and said, "I've got a slightly sore throat here, and the numbers haven't been what I wanted them to be, so I think it's best for me to take the rest of the year off," what would you say to me, Caleb?
Yes, I would obviously be like, "What the heck?" Like, that would be ridiculous. But wait, okay, but I'll give you 2. You say 9 out of 10, I can give you 2. He didn't. He ended up starting anyway. But it's a well-known thing that Peyton Manning wanted to be redshirt, was looking for a school that would redshirt him his first year as a freshman. He did not want to play as a freshman. And he picked Tennessee because he didn't want to play as a freshman. He wanted to learn the offense. Nico Iamaleava, we found out, wanted to be redshirted last year. I don't see why this is crazy.
I still don't believe that.
But it's true with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has said he was looking to go for a place where he would redshirt for a year and kind of learn the offense.
Yeah, I don't believe that with Nico, because if Tennessee's coaches and he believe that he's going to be around for 5 years, and I got to tell you something, he's better than that.
Okay, but then what? Let's just stick with Peyton. Was that a loser mentality by Peyton? Are you calling Peyton Manning a loser?
That's hot.
Double D piping brings
whatever
a hot take. 30 seconds, and I'll answer that question.
Double D Piping provides full-service fire protection on any scale. From residential homes to government facilities, we can assist any customer through design, fabrication, installation, inspection, and demonstration of fire suppression systems. With 30 years of service across 5 states and a full staff with over 40 years experience, our quality can't be beat. Don't get caught watching what you could have prevented. Call Double D Piping, the absolute best in fire prevention.
Okay, I just figured it out. Here's the reason, and it's simple. What year is one Cam Sutton? I'm sorry. Oh, help me. Why do I always want to call him Cam Sutton?
Cam Seldon?
Cam Seldon. What year is he? He's a sophomore. You're playing redshirt games as a sophomore?
Travis Stevens did it as a junior.
Again, he had 2 borderline NFL Hall of Famers against him.
Peyton Manning did it as a freshman. He wanted to redshirt.
Peyton, and I would have to look this up, but I believe Peyton at the time weighed 138 pounds.
Okay, I'm saying to you.
I mean, okay, there has to be a happy medium between your examples and mine, Sean Young, coming out in preseason camp saying, I think it would be best that I redshirt my senior year.
Well, obviously it didn't really work anyway because Sean Young was never became a starter anyway. So I think Sean Young just wasn't good enough to ever start.
Well, no, he was actually the first off the bench, and I mentioned it to Philip Fulmer. He's like, what the hell's that guy talking about? I mean, if anybody gets hurt, he's the first guy at guard or tackle off the bench. So I just think you got to be really careful not to put yourself first. And there's a propensity to do that in this current transfer portal situation. The UPS store Hardin Valley helping individuals and small businesses wide range of products and services locally owned and operated. The link is right below. UPS store Hardin Valley, owned and operated by true Tennessee fans and a Tennessee family, as a matter of fact. All right, Caleb Calhoun, if you can, sir, give me the stat of the day. Stat of the day is right now, and it's brought to you by our fantastic friends at Work Truck. So what do you got, Caleb? Stat of the day.
There's a really good sign that Tennessee is going to beat Georgia in Athens this weekend.
If you bring up another presidential election one, I'm just going to blow right.
No, I am, because there's some good ones for Tennessee. Are y'all ready for this? Every time. Hold on. Ever since Tennessee football has existed, every time a Republican won their second term as president, Tennessee won a marquee road game in Georgia. So I'll just bring those out. Let me just go through the list. 2004, Bush won a second term. Tennessee beat Georgia in Athens. That was the Eric Ainge freshman year. 1984, Reagan won a second term. Tennessee beat Georgia Tech on the road, which was a marquee game because Georgia Tech was in the top 25 that year. 1972, Richard Nixon won re-election. Tennessee beat Georgia and Georgia Tech, both on the road.
Works out great for everybody.
1956, Dwight Eisenhower won re-election. And with Johnny Majors, Tennessee beat Georgia Tech on the road in the game that decided the SEC championship because both were in the top 5 at the time. So Tennessee wins a marquee game in Georgia every time a Republican wins a second term.
I have something more analogous to your whole concept of Travis Stevens saying he should redshirt. So let's just say, for instance, that Peyton Manning goes out there, loses to UCLA after Jeremy Colquitt was hurt on, I believe, the 9th?
Jerry Colquitt, not Jeremy.
Jerry. Yeah. Jeremy was a different player. And then they beat Georgia. They get blanked by Florida, and then they lose to Mississippi State. So that's 4 games. What if Peyton Manning says, this whole starting thing's been kind of cool, but I'd rather have my year back. So I want to go ahead and redshirt the rest of the year. And if you don't mind, best of luck against the rest of the schedule. That's more analogous to what you're saying.
No, because they needed Peyton Manning. They were like, they didn't just lose Jerry Colquitt. They then lost Todd.
Apparently they thought they needed Cam Seldon because they played him above Peyton Lewis.
Because Peyton Lewis was banged up earlier in the year and he was a freshman. They like Peyton Lewis better now. Cam Seldon is to Peyton Lewis what Mark Levine was to Jamal Lewis.
Okay, I'm just telling you, Peyton Lewis told me in July in an exclusive interview that he was 100% full go. And he was a freshman. He had the pelvis injury, which I hear is a real bear. And you don't want to hurt your pelvis, Caleb. But I also heard he hurt his shoulder as well. He told me he's 100% full go. He had actually just 2 days before visited with the doctor, said you're fully released, good to go. Take off, go run around.
But he was a freshman.
Yeah, I think they either didn't play Peyton Lewis because they hoped to redshirt him, or they thought they could turn Cam Seldon into something. At the end of the day, I think it was mishandled by Tennessee's coaches.